Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started. This is test 4.2 Algebra 2 review. And so we're going to go ahead and get started with the first one. So it asks us inverse variation, right? So just kind of a little review. And my pen doesn't work. Alright, here we go. Let's see if this one works. Alright, inverse. So if y'all remember from class, inverse means y equals k over x, where k is your constant, right? So it's inversely related. So if you guys remember your picture, right? Here we have an inverse equation. So it's saying when one variable increases, so think about your x values. When x is getting bigger, your y values are getting smaller. So this is decreases. And then for direct variation, y equals k times x, right, where k is your constant. Remember, this is linear, so it's like a line. So if x is increasing, right, then what are happening to our y values? They are getting bigger. So this is increases. Alright, so next one, number 3. It says, Penny sells hot dogs from a cart at the beach. Her daily income S varies directly as the number of hot dogs H that she sells. Refer to the chart at the right. And so they want us to write the equation that models the situation. Fill in the missing values in the cart. Okay, so looking at our picture right here, the number of hot dogs, that's our x, right? That's our independent variable. And then your income is your y. It's dependent on, it changes depending on how many hot dogs you have. So, it says that it's directly, it varies directly. That's your keyword. So I'm going to use the formula y equals k times x. And I'm looking at my graph right here, and we have some unknowns that we have to fill out. So I know that this is what's given. I have a complete set. So I'm going to substitute what I know and solve for k. So your y is 255.50 equals k times your x is 73. So to solve for k, I'm going to divide both sides by 73. So I'm going to get my handy dandy calculator and do 255.50 divided by 73. So that gives me $3.50, or not dollars because it's a constant. So $3.50, right? That's our k. So I'm going to plug that back into my same equation. Y equals 3.5x. That's your rate. So let's figure out what our next income is. If I want to know what my next income is, that's my y. So I'm going to plug in 36 for x. So that's going to be y equals 3.5 times 36. So in my calculator, I have 3.5 times 36, and that gives me 126. So my answer right here is going to be $126. Now the same thing here, right? So the same thing here is we have, now they give us the y value, so I need to find the x value. So I'm going to substitute the 304 for the y value equals 3.5 times x. If I want to get x by itself, I'm going to divide by 3.5. So 304.50 divided by 3.5, plugging that in my calculator, I get 87. So this one is 87 hot dogs. Alright, so part A was write the equation for this situation. Y equals 3.5x, and then filling the missing values of the chart. We just did that. Good. Let's go on to the next one. So we have number 4. It says y varies directly as x. and y is 12 when x is 4. Write and graph the function find y when x is 7. Alright, so varies directly again. Formula is y equals k times x. And so they tell you this is your given, right? Y is 12 when x is 4. And so they want us to find y when x is 7. That's part B. So first thing I need to solve for k. So if I get k by itself, k equals y divided by x. My y, I'm going to use the set that's given. So that is 12 divided by 4. So your k is 3. Now I'm going to plug that back into my equation. So y equals 3 times x. Now they want me to find out what is y when x is 7. So just plugging that in, 7 times 3 is 21. So y is 21. Alright, so they want us to graph this function. So the equation is y equals 3x. I'm just going to graph it by hand because it's really easy. So that's the equation of a line, right? Your y-intercept is 0, because if you remember from Algebra 1, an equation of a line is y equals mx plus b, right? Your m is your slope. Your b is your y-intercept. So what I'm going to do here is my b in this case is 0, so I'm going to start at 0. And this m is 3, so I'm going to rise 3, run 1. Rise 3, run 1. So then I'm going to drop 3 and go down 1. That's what my graph should look like. Alright, so let's go try number 5. It says y varies inversely as x. Y is 3 when x is 12. So varies inversely, y equals k divided by x. And they tell you this is our given. When y is 3, x is 12. And they want us to find a new x when y is 4. So the same thing. I'm going to solve for k. So to solve for k, k is the same thing as y times x or x times y. And so I'm going to plug in the values that I know that they gave me. So when y is 3, x is 12. So k is 12 times 3. So k is 36. So I'm going to plug that back into my original equation for k. So my equation is y equals 36 divided by x. And so they want me to find the new x when y is 4. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 4 for y. So 4 equals 36 over x. Here I'm going to cross multiply because I can rewrite 4 as 4 over 1. So 4x equals 36. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. So my new x is 9. Alright, so this one they want me to graph, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little sketch here. This is x and this is y. So go ahead and plot your points. When I have x is 12, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Your y is 3, so it's really small. And then when x is 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Your y is 4. It's getting a little bit bigger. Right? And so if I plug in 0 here, let's see. Here's my equation, right? 0 is undefined, right? So that makes sense. It's not going to, because 0 under the line is undefined. But if I plug in 1, you're going to get 36. That's way up here. If I plug in 2, 36 divided by 2 is 18. So that's still pretty much, that's like halfway And then if I plug in 3, 36 divided by 3 is 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3 is about here. So here I'm really, really high. And then 4, 36 divided by 4 is 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So your graph is going to look like this. And so if I plug this in my graphing calculator, just to double check, 36 divided by x, let me take off my plot. Okay. So I go to y equals, and I type in 36 divided by x, and I graph it, and you can see it's just a curve, just like that. It's kind of hard to see with the camera, sorry. So as our x's are getting bigger, our y's are getting smaller. It kind of looks like a slide. Alright, so that's that one. We're going to go ahead and go to number 6, A and B. So number 6 says, decide if the data in the table shows direct or inverse variation. So let's review. Direct, the equation for direct is y equals k times x. But when I'm solving for k, your equation is k equals y divided by x. That's how you get k by itself. That's your constant. Now for inverse, the formula for inverse is y equals k over x. If I want to solve for k, your constant, right, you're going to cross multiply, so k equals x times y. You use the k formulas, guys, when they're given tables, and you're trying to find the type of variation. So what that means is you're going to first check for direct. And if the number is the same every single time, that's what it is. So like if you look at this first letter A, let's first check for direct. Direct tells us to do y divided by x. So 30 divided by 1 is, I'm testing for direct, 30 divided by 1 is 30. 10 divided by 3, well if you do 10 divided by 3, that's a decimal, so it's 3.33. So do y'all see how already this is not the same number? So this is definitely not direct. I can go ahead and stop. Alright, so let's check for inverse. For inverse, for number 6a, I'm going to multiply them. So let's multiply your x and your y. So 1 times 30 is 30. 3 times 10 is 30. 7.5 times 4 is 30. 10 times 3 is 30, and 0.5 times 6 is 30. So these are all the same numbers. So this answer right here is inverse. So 6a is inverse. Now let's look at B. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to check for direct first and then inverse. Direct says do y divided by x. So 5 divided by 1 is 5. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 50 divided by 10 is 5. 2.5 divided by 0.5 is 5. So these all give you the same numbers. So this one right here, guys, is direct. You don't even have to check for the other one because I already found it. Alright, so that's the first section of your test 4.2 review, direct and inverse variation.